しれとこです。今日いっぱいやってますけどね。ヒアストーリー今日はね、これからやっていこうと思います。この画面の方がいいか。OK かな。よし。このゲームはね、古いパソコンから検索して資料を漁って、そのインタビューですかね。事情聴取の情報を見ながらね、謎解いていくっていうゲームですかね。はい、じゃあムービー見ていきますか。
You think it's murder?
こういった形でね、映像を見ながら
Clearly it's murder.
見て推理していくゲームです
What
か
can I
ね。
do to help?
面白そうだなと思って見ただけなんですけど、何だったんだろう。何も情
You
報な
think
さそう
it's
だったけど、
murder? I mean, clearly it's murder.
メモちょいこつっていうか、かい
What can I do to help?
青い不別段日だね。
Yeah,
94年1月7日。
but February, and that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
数ヶ月経った。検索がおかしい。いつだって日付が、94年の1月7日。これアメリカ式でいいんだよな。ヨーロッパとアメリカと日本で日付の書き方が違うからな。こっちいつだっけ ?1 ヶ月前、94年の、違う。7月、青い服は。94年の、6月の27日。6月の27日と。
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder.
って言ってるんだよね。で、1週間が経ったぐらい。
Yeah, that's me.
時間とかもメモった方がいいのかな。
February, and that was months ago.
でもなんでこの反応は違うんだろう。サイモンの殺人と何と関係が。ってことは、女性は、女性しますかは、聞いてる、インタビュー聞かれてて、サイモンっていう、被害者。でも見てた方がいいのかな。まあまあいいか。で、はい。これが7月3日。白い。
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now.
なんで弁護士なんだ？
You have no murder weapon. You have nothing.
疑われてるんだ。
And all these stories we've been telling each other.
7月3日。数日でこんな風に変わったってことは、何か状況があったのかな。検索ワード。なるほどね。そういうことか。はいもん。52個もあんの。なるほど。検索ワードがしっかりしないと5個しか出てこないんだ。これが6月18日。これは真ん中が6月18日。時間的に言うと、時系列順に見ていこうか。14時17分。違うか。19時17分。19時20分。3分後か。19時25分。これから見ていきますか。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
一番最初だな。
Windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
キーワードが出てきたよ。 これ94年いいわ。日付だけにしよっか。めんどくさい。いや、でも一応メモっといた方がいいか。なんかあるとわかんないから。94年の6月18日。出てきたキーワードメモっとこう。この時にヒアリングしたやつで、なんとかブラザーズ。
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass.
アーンスト、これ止めれねえの一時停止。アーンストブラザーズ。
They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things.
アーティスティッ
Really
ク。
beautiful things.
意味マジックそうだな。アートンブラザーズ。もう一回見てみようか。
Simon Smith.
サイモン・ス
He
ミ
works
ス
at
だね。
Ernst Brothers Glass.
ガラス会
They
社。
do windows, all kinds of glass.
アーンスト。ア
Simon does the
ー
more
トンじゃねえ
special
や。
work.
ア
Mirror
ーン、
making, feature windows,
Ernst-
artistic things. Ernst Brothers
アーン
Glass.
スト。
They
ア
do
ーンスト。
windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
アーンストブラザーズは、ガラス工業で、
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
勤務先。勤務先がアーンストブラザーズで、仕事内容が、なんだっけ、アーティスティック。この情報いるかね。とりあえずこれ次見てみましょ
It's
う
the
か。
Rockington Arms. The Rock.
ザ・ロック。
It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
待って。
There's some
ピ
other
ーター、ス
regulars
ー
there
ザ
that
ン、
Simon likes to drink
常
with.
連、
And the barmaid they're having
ヘレンっていう
sometimes.
娘。待って、なんかいっぱいいる
Peter
んだけ
said
ど。
Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
被害に遭った日のこと言ってんのかな。なんだっけ、もう一回。ちょっと居酒屋の名前が。ストッ
It's
プ
the
が欲しい
Rockington
わ。
Arms.
ザ・ロック。
The Rock. It's run by a nice
The Rock.
couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes to drink with. And the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and
ザ・
had
ロ
a few
ックっ
drinks.
ていう、高場って書いてあるのかな。ザ・ロック。で、出てきてるの
It's the
は、
Rockington
ピー
Arms.
ターとスー
The
ザン。
Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan.
ピーター
There's some other regulars there that
Susan.
Simon likes to drink with.
え
And the barmaid they're having sometimes, Helen. Peter said Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
ヘレンっていう女の人。ヘレンという娘がいる。
It's the Rockington Arms, The Rock. It's run by a nice couple, Peter and Susan. There's some other regulars there that Simon likes
常
to
連
drink
だっ
with.
た。
And the barmaid they're having sometimes,
たま
Helen.
に。た
Peter
ま
said
に。
Simon had been in and had a few drinks.
働いていると。こんな感じか。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one.
アムストラッドのパソコンがあるわ。
There's a printer so you can
なん
write
だ、何
letters
の
on
話だ。
it. Simon sometimes plays games.
ゲームをやってる。ゲーム好きなんだ。
Save the princess. That kind of thing.
僕も好き。関係あるのかな。
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games. You know, climb the tower, save the princess. That kind of thing.
アムストラッド、パソコンと。趣味がゲームで、 ムストラットっていうパソコンを買って遊んでいると。この辺関係あるのかな。
Simon isn't the type to run
いな
off
くなってる
or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident.
検索単語も書いとくか、女性の前、日付のところに。検索単語。これからしてれば、調べたときに何が良かったかがわかるね。赤い服のこの3つは、殺人だったな。
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything
感想しか
crazy.
言ってないやつだ。
Thanks.
これ最後か。泣いた
Please find Simon. I love him so much.
恋人だった。この女性は、最後に、恋人。やべ、交尾になっちゃった。恋人。あは、妻。よし、とりあえず一通り見たね。気になってるのが、じゃあ、関係ないところからいくか。アムストラット。はい、なし。アムストラットっていう趣味は消しても良さそう。待って、ゲーム。これ、会話した単語が全部出てんのかな。ゲームと。いらない。この趣味の情報は、次は、どうしようか。居酒屋先行った方がいいか。会社、勤め先から調べるか。勤め先から行くか。あれアンストラットじゃな。アムストラットと被った。アンストブラザーズね。職場も結構どうでもいいんだ。これもいらない。で、ブラザーズでも検索するかなし。勤め先の情報もいらないんだ。なるほどね。アーティスティック。まあ、ヘレンとかって人物が出てきたのは酒場のことなんだろうな。じゃあ、まず、2個出てきた。これが、青い服。日付の、ちょっと待って。とかね、なんか特徴を捉えてた方が分かりやすいからメモってますけど。6月18日だから、このヒアリング、サイモンで検索した時と同じようなタイミングでヒアリングが出てるな。94年。一緒か。これでコピー。で、検索単語は、ザロック。42秒。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on a Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock. That's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since.
金曜日
Still
の
wasn't back
夜。
this morning. Just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
エリックが金曜の夜に最後見てると。もう一回見る。
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left.
状
On
況説
Saturday, he
明。
didn't come back.
サイ
I
モン、
waited all day. He was
この
supposed to
女
go
の名前
help
なんて言うん
Eric
だ
out
ろ
with something on
う。
the
女
Saturday
性
afternoon. They had a job. he didn't show.
女性 A は、
So Eric was ringing on the phone.
被
They
害
checked at
に
the
あ
Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark
エリッ
again.
クとザロックで
So I
会ってる
decided
と
to。come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
エリックって誰なんだろう。もう一回見てみるとちょっとよくわかんなかった。金曜日の夜
So, it was Friday evening.
土曜日にエリックが来ないって電話してて、
But not sick.
あ、違うか。違う。ザロックに、で、最後っていうわけじゃないか。見かけていると。討論の後、金曜日にザロックで見かけている。土曜日にこうなると、これはもう雑感だな。ただのメモです。
Oh God, I don't know.
25日。
I guess the Rock.
6月
You've spoken
25
to
日。
everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know.
髪をアップにしてるね。雰囲気はちょっと
So
違
many
う。
things could have gone wrong.
94年。髪型がなんでこの時だけあれなのか、職場に来た的な仕事中は髪アップにします的な。半袖。
I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know.
の、
So many things could have gone wrong.
灰色のシャツだ。髪をアップにしてる。まあ、言ってる会話は、ゴミみたいな内容だったな。ザロックで聞けたのはこれぐらいか。スーザン、ピーター、ヘレン。ちょっと待って、エリックから気になる。多分関係ないな、エリックは。すげえ、多分、どうでもいい人な気がする。14のクリップ。
He was wearing
エリックで、
a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt
待て。
and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat,
ああ、上司なんだ
a。long grey duffel coat, like Paddington Bear. He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
6月の18日。もう一回。
He was wearing
彼って誰のことだろう？サイモンかな？
It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans.
彼は青いタートルネックのシャツ。
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric.
青いタートルネ
He
ッ
had
ク、
his coat, a
バ
long
ッ
grey
フル
duffel
コー
coat.
ト。
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt
ジ
and
ーンズ。
jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice
的な
one. That was a
腕
gift
時
from
計。
his boss,
的な
Eric. He had his coat, a
そう
long grey duffel coat, like
Maybe.
Paddington Bear.
ほら。
He would have taken that with him. It's not in the house.
新しい登場人物できたね。エリック。サイモンの資料。
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier.
Hmm?
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier. And a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street.
多様
I'm sure
の
about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
エリックから借りているバン。
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier. And a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now,
2
parked on
台
the
とも駐
street.
車したままってことは置い
I'm
てっ
sure
た。
about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
駐車場に残ったままと。
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa,
ビザ。
a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have,
い
so
や、関係ないだろうな、
he
ビザ。
usually pays with cash. But
Eric
convinced
な
him
んか
to get
エリックとサイモンはなんかすごい親密な関係ですね。いい上司だったのかな？
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spent
ん？待って、日付が違うこれだけ。えーっと。車のことしか語ってない気がする。必要な情報が。そう。ついて語ってたと。で、次25日。この半袖のアップの時か。これもザロックの内容だ。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
あんまり重要そうじゃないな、でも。
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
エリックの妻。ダイアン。検索。わー、いっぱい出てきた。でも5個で終わりか。
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I
子供は
worked
2
there.
人。いい人。こっちも25日か。検索単語、これでググって書いてあるじゃん。エリ、ダイ。これは27日回復。ああ、
Yeah,
これと同じか。
that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a gift. Yeah, that's Simon's watch.
ん？
Diane is really.
ん？なんか気のせいかな。
Eric was like an uncle to him.
あれ？
Simon and Eric.
あれ？
Diane is really nice.
ちょっと待って、ダイアンで検索が分かったんだけど、ちょっと待ってね。
You think it's murder?
見えないな、隠してるな。あれどこだ？俺なんか指輪見てなかった気がする。
Yeah. That's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago.
あれどれだちょっと待ってね。エリックか。
Yes, there's a car that we share of...
あれ気のせいか。なんかこの水色の時指輪してないように見えたんだけど気のせいか。
They were pretty close. They spent...
うん。青い服の時はしてる。気のせいかな。
Oh God. I don't
あ、してた
know.
ね。気のせいです。はい、ダイアン。
Yeah.
水。今日は水の日だ。コーヒーの日と水の日
It
が
was
あ
a
る。
gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it.
なるほど。
She has really nice taste.
時計はいいから。
That
結婚記念
time,
日。
you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
グラスゴー。うん。調べた。ほほ。グラスゴーは重要なやつだ。何の話でグラスゴー。うん。
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric.
今年
He
にな
got
っ
it
て。
this year.
ってことは、
It was a wedding
最近もらった
anniversary
や
gift.
つ。
Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it.
Mhm.
She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then.
被害に遭った当時、グラスゴーにいたんだ。この女の人。この人は、あれだけなのインタビューというか、上場時だけなんだ。グラスゴー。殺人が行われた反対に、日時には、グラスゴーにいたと。
Not really.
30日、6月
He would
30
go to
日。
the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house.
今度はコーヒーの日。6月30
Sometimes
日。
Eric, his boss, and his wife
夜
would
と
come in
か
for
な
dinner.
のかな
That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the
フェン
supermarket.
ネルってなんだ
Have you ever eaten fennel?
ないです。フェンネルって何
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come in for dinner. That would be us returning the
なん
favour.
でこのイラストに語ってんだろう
Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel.
フェンネルって何どうでもいいやつだった。消しちゃった。グラスゴー。じゃあグラスゴー聞いてみるか。まだ、あれなんだよな。酒場の、このピーターとスーザン、あとヘレンについてまだ全く聞けてないんだけど、どんどん情報が出てきちゃっ
I
た。
got in the car. And I drove.
9月27日。
I just
赤い
kept
服だ
driving
ね。
north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped,
うん。
I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so... I got in the car.
なんで車に乗って走り出したんだ？なんで遠くに行きたくなったんだ？
Tired.
で疲れてた。今度ウォーキングの日だ。気になるのは、
Yes.
やたら胸元派だけで、
I got to Glasgow. I
ここ
was
にやっぱ
exhausted,
胸
so
に
I
目がいっちゃうのは
pulled over and
男の差
slept
が
in
で
the
すね。
car.
ペンダント見せびらかしてんのかな。
I woke up because a rubbish
ゴミ
truck
収
went
集車の
past.
なんだろう、喧嘩でも
Got
したの
some
かな。
petrol, bought a
ガソ
copy
リ
of
ン入れてコー
pastry,
ヒーを買い。
tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
電話をかけ家に戻った。なんだろう、ちょっと推測。この殺人当時グラスゴーにいた。ついでに喧嘩かけないといけないか。あ、今度水の日だ。
I don't think so.
え、なんで
Glasgow was
27 日
deserted
でし
that
ょ？
early in the morning.
あれ？これ20時59分で、21時5分。コーヒーから水に変えたんだ、ここで。こういうところが気になってっちゃう
I don't
ね。
think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
離婚しようとしてた？
I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted
あ、
that
ちょっと
early
びっ
in
く
the
り。朝
morning.
のグラスゴーを換算として。調停に見えたから、なんか裁判でもしてんのかなと思っちゃ
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving
う。事故ったんだ。
badly.
タ
I
ク
hit
シ
a
ー。
taxi. Not a big crash.
事故の情報でかんのタクシー事故で検索し
The
てみる
guy
か。
was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving
免許証
license
持っ
on
てな
me.
かったの。
But when I told him I was
妊娠
pregnant,
してる
he
妊
made
娠して
sure I
る
got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have
なるほど。
details when I
病
was
院で
looked
検
at.
索してみるか。
There's a scratch on the car.
タクシーだ。お、これ出てきた。タクシー。ちなみに、タクシーだけで、病院。病院も出てくる。あとは、なんだっけ、妊娠。うわーいっぱい出てくる。もうまずタクシーかな。よいしょ。おかしいおかしい。感じが。まあ、じゃあタクシーから見ていきましょう。妊娠してんだ。妊娠してたっけ？ちょっと俺の憶測だから消しとこうか。タクシー。起こす。感じが違う。病院に行った。で、妊娠している。次、6月30日。
A police station.
ガラモンシャツの日だ。警察署？
Yeah.
若い子
When I
同
was
じ。
young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare.
警
He
察のお
was
世話になって
suspicious
る。
because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and
ポーツマス。
took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked
実
me
家
up
ポ
from the
ーツマ
station.
ス。お、
But I blamed everything on my friend
待て
Dee.
待て待て待て待て待て
My
待
parents let me off.
て。ポーツマスってのが実家なのか。待ってよ。 誕生日に家出し、ポーツマスに戻された。で、イブのせい。誰イブ？兄弟かな？イブのせいにした。新しい女性が出てきたね。名前の横になんか書くことっていうか。人物、コメントが多くなって、メモが多くなってきた。サイモン、エリック。ただエリックらはなんかもう関係なさそうな気はちょっとしてる。除外しても良さそう。まあ、ちょっとまだわかんないけど。イブについてと、あとピーターと、ヒューザンと、ちょっと待ってね。まずはちょっとね、物事についてから確認してきた。人物よりも、7月3日。7月3日。
I wanted to think, put some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And I decided to drive back.
6月に。
I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
花の方が大事って言ってる。なんかぐったりしてるんだけど、ヘレンは一つしか出てこないな。ちょっとヘレン先聞くか、じゃあ。
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about our argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
浮気相手？ヘレン。ブロンド。口論のことを最後から聞いたと。ことをヘレンから聞いた。で、病院から確認するか。これは2秒。27日。病院。
Ask the hospital.
水の日。病院にいた。
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed.
4月2日、青い服。
You've spoken with the hospital.
待って。
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
コーヒーの日。ペンダントしてないね、この日。
When I arrived,
この日はコーヒーの日。ペンダントしてる。
like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove.
してる？してる。
It's like I told you before, I drove. I took the car and drove.
うん。
I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys.
白い
I
服。
just drove
あの
north.
さ、
I wanted to think, put some space between me and them.
喧嘩してるね。
Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted.
同じこと言って
I
るね。
pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, but I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay.
これ聞いた内容だった？
It's It's like I told you before. I drove.
なんか同じこと聞いてるね。
Hannah from a that she's more important.
うん、これ確認した内容だな。ここにメモ帳とかあるんだからメモらしてくれるとは思うけどな。花。タクシー。あと何について聞こうと思ってたっけ？病院、タクシー。ポーツマス。うん。関係ない。ポーツマスは消そう。ポーツマスは関係なさそう。今度はイブ、花。ちょっとじゃあ関係なさそうな、先にピーターから確認していくか。ピーター。あんまり内容多いと困るね。ピーター。スーザン。すげえどうでもいい内容だったんだ。なるほど。ピーター、スーザンはどうでもよかった。人物像から消してもいいわ。コメントほどんとしてない。ことは、花。妊娠についても確認しなきゃね。うわー、すげえグリップある。スーザン。でねや。なんだっけ、ヘレン。ヘレンは2個。イブ。浮気相手じゃないんだ。イブ1人。
Differences?
これは、ちょっと待って。
She's a better
7
driver
月
than me.
3日。
She passed the test
運
for
転
us.
は彼女の方が上手。
I tried to take it and nearly
妹っ
crashed
ぽい
the
よね、
car.
イブは。
Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything.
長いな、コメント。
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys.
性格。
If Hannah liked a boy,
Right.
I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl.
カールって誰？
Hannah met him first.
花が最初に出会っ
She had such a crush.
た。花とどういう人物？
I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played
Ooh.
at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a
花
virgin.
とイブって同一人物？
She had lots of excuses.
どういうことなんだ？なんで
After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's
やる
virginity.
ことって何ですかって。
It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth,
カール。
a graze. We used a hairbrush.
よし。
After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys until Simon.
は？どういうことカールと出会ってサイモンに会ったの？なんか音楽変わった。
Differences? She's a better driver than me.
相違点って言い方してるね。
She passed the test for us.
相違点ってなん
I
で？
tried to take it and nearly crashed the
そういう
car.
時聞かないと
Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get
気に
you
な
through
る相違
everything.
点って。
She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him.
てか、
It was that way with
待って、イブについて話聞いたのになんで花が出てくんだろう。
Hannah met him. Hannah met with Carl.
イブが花
Hannah met him
イブ
first.
イコール花って
She
出
had
て
such
きたん
a
だけど。
crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but
Sexしてない。
Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses.
花じゃねえや、この女
After
性
a
A
while,
は
we decided that I should take Hannah's
カール
virginity.
に少女
It's not that different to a bruise,
少女を捧げた。
pulling a tooth.
やることやったわ。みたいな反応された。関係ない。ヘアブラシ。少女について、こいつだっけ？カールだね。あ、でもここだけなんだ。カール。すげえどうでもよさそうな。1月7日。
Was he my first?
なんか性格変わったみた
You
い。
need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first.
留
That
学
would
に
have been Carl.
青い T シャツの日。
He was a local boy in a band.
は
He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy.
地
We were
元の、
15.
地元のバンドも。なんだろう。すげえはっちゃけたね。なんかすげえ赤い服でかっちりだったのに。入れ墨をしてる
Be
わ。
so coy.
今気づいた。
No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl.
指輪はしてる。
He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15.
少女の時は15だったんだ。待って、カールはまあ残し15歳。
No, I was 15. Carl was older.
17歳だっ
17,
た。
I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex.
なんでこの自助調子の時に妹だか姉だかわかんないけど、
Stupid.
このイーブだか花だかの話してんだろ。
So he got tired of
なんで
us
こんなこと
and
聞いてんだ？
we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know?
こいつの時はなんかイーブだか花だかの話してないね。なんかさっきの感じだと、私はもうセックスしたけどね、みたいな反応をしてても良さそうだけど。うんうん。
Family.
あ、イーブとか花とか。
So Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon.
手書きにか。
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet.
え、
We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes.
どういうこと？待って待って
I
待って
thought
待って。
we had terrible bladder problems.
は？
The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was
え、
it.
ちょっと待って分かんなかっ
He
た。
didn't want another card on the hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn.
今
And
まで会話したの、
she slept with
インタ
them.
ビュー聞いたの一人だと思ってた
Broke
け
the
ど、
rules.
二人もしかしてこれ。
Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the
もう一回最初
first.
からですね。え、入れ替わり？
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date.
今
We
ま
went
で
to see Tom Cruise
一
at the
人
Old
の人
Odeon.
物のヒアリングして
We
ると思っ
both
たけど、
went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one
入
best
れ
dress,
替わ
so
り
we
で
had
き
to
るっ
keep
てこと
swapping
は、
clothes.
見た目がほぼ変わんないってこと
I
だも
thought
ん
we
ね。
had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me.
私だ
But that was it.
そん
We
な言い
didn't
方
want
する
another
か
hand on
な？
the hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
二人でやる日があるってことかな？私だけ一人って言い方は。
She slept with him.
いや、結局寝てんじゃん。
Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got
え
pregnant.
ー、肌妊娠して
From
る。
that one time.
旦那は、なんかチカチカしたぞ。カールセックスしてない。嘘じゃん。セックスしてないってだけだ。待って。あ、4月2日。4月2日。
Really? Are you really asking me that question?
え？双子について冗談かって言ってるね。 それは当たり前だろっていう反応なのか、いや、そんなわけはねえだろって反応なのか微妙だったな。これも7月2日。笑ってるね。コーヒーの日。
Are you out of your mind? Twins?
おっぱいにペンダント。好きなんだね。同じ反応だな。なんでこことここで言ってんだ。なんで2回撮ったんだろう。19時49秒と。え、なんで2回同じことを10秒後にも言ってんだ。
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
42秒に行って49秒にも
Are you out of your mind?
ありえねえわって反応して。
Twins?
なんでここ分けたんだろう。これは7月3日か。
There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that.
双子じゃないの。
Twins. Magical.
まあ、双子なの。
We were the princesses.
物語だけの話。
We had a poster of Princess Diana
仲
from
の
the
いい姉妹ってわけで
newspaper
もさそう。
up in our attic. Had a pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
うんうん。92でその辺のあれか。出てくるタイヤ。
Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people
いいシャ
said.
ツの日。
Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful.
結婚して
It
る。
looked like Princess Diana's. The train wasn't quite as long though.
え
There's a great photo of the
こいつが花か。
bridesmaid helping to carry it out of the car.
ってことだよね。こいつが花か。だったって言われた。17人。本式。花。イブと花は同一人物かな。17歳で。じゃあどっちなんだ。もう一人がイブなの？違うな、違う。この女性 A だった人がイブで、もう一人の人が花？これは25日。
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding.
あと妊娠について検索しなかったな。
We had our first dance to come back and stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it.
何？カムバック何？ダンス。
I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and
妊娠
Simon
についてもちょっと聞
for
かない
that
とな。
moment. Just the two of us.
だからあんないっぱい出てきたんだ、妊娠。サイモンと
We
でき
spent
た
a
の
wedding
が
night in a hotel
イ
in
ンタビューしてる
Brighton.
人。殴ら
It
れ
would
た
have
後
been
があ
too
る。
much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful
かっちりしてる
in a
あ
hotel away from
入
home,
れ墨ない。
just alone together.
やっぱ別人だ、インタビューして
Since
る
then,
人
we've
と。
always tried to get away for our holiday.
ちょっと待って、わかんなかったぞ。結婚式は一旦置いといて、チャージングで最初にヒアリングしたとき、長袖着てる。長袖着てる。わかんねえ。どっちがどっちなんですか。いや、一旦結婚式。結婚式。あれ？結婚式。結婚について検索すればいっぱい出てくる。いっぱい出てくる。いっぱ 買いすぎだ。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in
ブライ
Brighton.
ト。
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby.
うん。あれ入れ墨してる人が結婚、子供できたんじゃないの？わかんなくなったな。
No. The
4月
parents
3
decided
日。
there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents.
これは花
There was
じゃ
no
な
way
い。
I could follow.
さっきの人とは別人か。ネックレスしてる。ネックレスしてるのがインタビューの人。
I stayed in the
ネ
attic.
ックレス。
It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't
ネックレス
exist.
してる人が、
I would sneak out.
でネックレスしてないのがこいつ、そうすると。
We spent the wedding night in a
わかんないな。
hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much.
双子の時は
There were always princes and princesses.
この人が結構かっちりめの服着てるか。ネックレスしてるのは赤い服の人だもんね。この人もっていうことか。花は子供できたけど、
No.
サイモンとは別？
The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were
職業
separated
言った
again.
わ。メモが。
I
スクロー
stayed
ル
in
が
the
ありました。
attic. It was hard.
屋根
It's
裏。
like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone
検索しない単
recognized
語を
me, I
探すのが大
started
変だっ
praying
た。
quick. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was
うんうんうんうん。
sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs. Parks.
結構はっちゃけたことしてるな、こいつ。
I was 17.
お17歳でパパ活ですか。
Felt like I was being punished. But it was
That-
Hannah who betrayed us.
男に寝取られる。
I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier.
見た目変わんねえ、わかんねえよ、そんな。
I don't know how to look sometimes.
今はそんなに変わってないのか。
We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people?
は
And that seemed like
なるほど、二重人
was
格
it time
か。
to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us
あ
wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in.
二重人格なんだ。
And that was the plan.
なんていう単語だっけ？何がか。屋根裏いっぱい出てくる。何それ。25
Yes.
日。
I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon.
こいつは青服
Felt like going
は
back to old
で
ways
青服
before
は
pregnancy.
花。
Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
花。青服は花。
Yes,
27
I read
日
a
の
lot
赤
as a
服
child
は
and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still
イ
have
ブ
in
っ
the
て人なの
attic.
かな。 イブ作るの一回しか出てきてないんだよね。
We used to play out there and make up our own stories.
仮にイブとしとこうか。
Yes.
ネックレス。ネ
I
ック
read
レ
a
ス
lot
に
as
し
a
とくか。
child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we
ネ
had,
ックレ
we
ス。
still have in the attic.
この人。
It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and
これは30日柄物
could
シ
the
ャツ。
hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean,
これどっちだ
could they-
あ、ネックレスしてない。
we have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with
Hana.
long blonde hair. Could they have come
こ
from
のは
there?
っちゃけてるタイプの人が花なんだ。待って、ラプンツェル出てきたな。柄物。あ、花がイブのせいにしたって言ってるね、6月30日に。
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come
これどこ
inside.
まで行ったら、うちに書いてる人なんだろう。
They had made the attic into a place where Hannah
人形
could
の家。
play.
人
It
形
was
の
a
家検索す
dollhouse.
るか。
She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
妊娠についてまだ全然調べられてない。
I'm not sure where the dollhouse came from.
やたら人形の家にこ
I
だ
don't
わ
know
って
if
んな。
it's given to them or they
Kaneda
inherited it. I mean, they wouldn't have had the money to buy it. It was so
これはいつだ
huge.
本当に
It must have been taken up to the attic in
白い服はこれ。
parts and then
これは
reassembled
イブ
up
か。
there. It's a beautiful thing. Wallpaper to scale,
花。
little furniture. The
こっち
lights
が
work, mirrors, beds,
こういうこと
duvets
か。
and pillows. We spent
見
hours
てな
and
かった。
invented all these characters and families who lived there. We wrote paperwork for them all. Passports, diaries, and gave them all really elaborate stories.
手を与えた。
Once, a moth got trapped in
Got-
there. We'd left a light on. It was making the most horrendous noise. We tried to kill it, but it
笑
was
ってる
tough.
笑ってる。
We ended up crushing it
Arabian
under a
Night.
copy of the Arabian Nights.
いけないだろう。人形。妊娠。これは、6月18日。
A long time.
青服。
We got married when I was 17.
うん。17の検索し、15の検索してみるか。7秒。
A long time.
これはどっちだ？コーヒー
We
の
got
日。
married when I was 17.
17歳で結婚したからって言ってる。こいつは、花かな？うん、コーヒーだから花かな。
I did.
なんか花の場合コーヒーな気がするな。
We met when we were 17, both working at the Glaciers.
そうそう。わかんなくなりそうなんですよ、このゲーム。無事っすね。今メモ取ってますよ、横で。もう100位を言ってますからね。
Well, we met when we were 17, both
Garcia.
working at the Glaciers.
サイモンと出会ってんね。17歳で花が。待って、コーヒーで検索してみよう。あ、いっぱい出てきた。はい、出てきちゃった。花か。
Black coffee, thanks.
ブラックコーヒー
No
で。
sugar.
甘さは
Sweet
10。
enough as it
ど
is.
ういうこと何これ。何のジョークだろうこれ。 甘さは足りてるから。これはいつだ？ 7 月1日。
Black no sugar. Thanks.
これはどっちだ？甘さが欲しい。しかもなんか7月1日。あれだな。シャツが違う。青いシャツ着てる人、このブラウス着てる日で、ブラウス着てる人で別々だ。検索単語が、これだ、コーヒーか。ここは2人分事情聴取してるな。甘さ控え、ブラックで。甘いの嫌いなのかな。これどっちかわかんないわ。コーヒーいらない人。コーヒーで。砂糖いらない。砂糖いらない人っていうのも変だけど。ネックレスがイブなんだけど、ネックレスが見えねえしな。わかんないな。6月18日が砂糖。砂糖の人。砂糖ありの人。あり。砂糖ありの人。どっちがどっちか見分けつかんねえよ、マジで。これは入れ墨してるから花かな。7月1日、7月1日。
I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up.
はあ。
I think they say you can have one cup.
青い T シャツ。入れ墨が花かな。入れ墨花。入れ墨に行ったけど花の特徴。
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
この日はもういっぱい飲みすぎたと。14時22分。29分。ここでも一杯飲んでんのに。コーヒーは分かった。待ってよね。あ、出てこないんだ。バンドについてはか。いっぱい出てくるね。25日。
I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you.
コーヒ
ー。Hear from my husband.
25日。これ花だね。
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from.
これから事件起きた直後ぐらいなのかな。27日、落ち着いてる。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff. Sad stuff. About when we lived there. About the baby.
あ、そっか。
There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff.
これでお茶だったらわかんないぞ。あれこれ待ってよ。イブにも違うな。これ多重人格だ。そうそうそう。多重人格だ。
When I looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags.
待ってよ。
Pulled them open.
Saw
the body.
死体が見つかった。
I screamed and that's when I called the police.
なんか確信迫ってるぞ。ちょっともう一回聞いとこう。メモりながら。
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone.
これ花は知らないの
I
かも
looked
しか
up
し
for
て。
an early night and I suddenly had this thought.
でも犯人はもうこいつに
I
決ま
think
り
it
だ
was
けど、
something his mum had said.
どっ
She'd
ちの
been
人格
speaking
がやった
about
かだね。
old stuff,
花がやった？
sad stuff. About when we lived there. About the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong
細かい性
place.
格なんだな、イブは。
I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and
これが27日なんだ。大発見。27日死体発見。検索単語は警察。あ、9個クリップあんのか。ガラシャツの時期だから、ガラシャツは何日だから花か。
walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. But he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room.
あ、花はやっぱ知らないのか、死
I
体の
walked
こと。
upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him
い
because it was
ないこ
pretty
と言ってん
clear
だもんね。
he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric.
エリック、調子だね。
Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and
新しいの
see
初
you.
めてきたわ。ガラシャツの時にダグ。
Don't know.
ダグってダグだ。ダグともう一人なんだ。名前が出てこない。
Okay.
ダグとエレノア。メモを取ってる時間の方が長い、このゲーム。ダグ。うわ、いっぱい出てくる、ダグ。エレノア。いっぱいあるな。ダグから検索していくか。検索したい単語をちょっとね、まとめとこうか。わかんなかったきたわ。ダグ。エレノア。はい。妊娠。地下、子供用品、ゴミ箱、ゴミ袋か。入れ墨。はい。墨。タトゥー。タトゥー出てきた。タトゥーから聞いとこう。
No, he doesn't.
これは18日。入れて
He
な
has
い
a。scar
イブは、
down here near his stomach, past his
Are they?
hip. Cut himself with some glass
ネックレスしてるからイブか。
a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses
イ
on.
ブはタトゥー
though.
なし。
He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
入れ墨って書いてたのタトゥーに直したからです。検索単語に合わせや。
Oh, my
7月7
tattoo.
日。じゃあ7月1日。
I got it to express my individuality.
これは花
It's an
か。
apple and a snake.
こ なんか実績解除した。だって
So I
3
moved
日。
out. Got a small bed
これ
sit.
はイブかな。おっぱいちょっ
Got
と
my tattoo
髪の
to
毛
mark
で
the
邪魔なんだけど、
occasion.
多分ネックレスしてるね。これイブかな。
I was singing in a bar in the evenings. So I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
これパパ活してた方だもんね。
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking.
ダンスとかも検索してみる？
I knew who he was. Obviously, I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. He guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me.
これでもイブ
I
じゃん。
enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't
イ
tell
ブ
me
が
he was
可愛い
married.
とか、ビックリムーとか。
I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming.
不倫してたの？
Waking dream.
結婚してることを触れてくれなかった。いっぱい出てくる。ちょっと待って、いっぱい出てきたんだけど。
From when I woke up.
27日。
Okay.
これイブか。
I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict.
調べないそれ。
We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to
イギリ
work,
ス人っぽいもんな。
had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway.
歌で
And
検索
Simon gave me his present, which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby.
プレゼント。
Turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could.
後に回
Get
して
some
るせいで
space to think.
だいぶ
So I
検
left.
索単語溜まってきたぞ。これは7月
Really?
1日。
Okay.
青シャツ。
Here's the rest.
歌歌ってる。
Later, boy, you're the doctor. Oh, the wind and the rain. Till the fiddler with the fiddle came walking by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle bow of her long hair.
投げ。
Oh, the wind and the rain.
やんのこれまで。
Yes, he made a fiddle bow of her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made fiddle pegs of her finger bones. Oh, the wind and the
怖い
rain.
怖い怖い怖い
Yes, he
怖い。
made fiddle pegs from her finger bones. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And he made a fiddle out of her breastbone. Oh, the wind and rain.
やべやべ。サイコパスやん。
Is so hard of stone. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. But the only tune that the fiddle could
ああ、楽器のことなんだ。
Oh, the wind and the rain. Yes, the only tune that the fiddle could play was oh, the dreadful wind and rain.
前にいたんだと。なんで
Maybe
拍手
he's
できん
only
で。
used as evidence against you.
証拠にしたくなるわ、これ。フィドル。これだけね。よし、じゃあ、戻るか。ちょっと待ってね。プレゼント。関係なさそうなものから聞いていきたい。忘れちゃうからな、関係なさそうな内容。プレゼントいっぱい出てきてるな。5件。ちょうどいいや、ぴったしだね。
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his
25日
present.
の青い半、
I guess
水
I
色の
didn't
半
like
袖。
the present.
誕生日だったんだ。こ
It
れ、
wasn't
花
the
だね。
present
花
so
の誕生
much.
日
It
だっ
was
たん
one
だ。
of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror.
誕生日
nice
25
mirror.
日。
He'd engraved the
金曜日
glass,
じ
the kind of mirror a
犯罪が起きた
princess would have in a
時
story. He made it specially for me.
こう金曜日が誕生日だったのね、これ。すいません。
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my
Wig?
clothes,
だと
pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me.
3日。
He
1月3
said
日イブだ。
he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present,
プレゼント。
another
鏡。
mirror, just like the
や
one
ばいやばい。
he'd given her earlier.
ああ。
That
だから口論になったんだ。口論の理由が分かった気がする。
she went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round.
プレゼントの鏡が理由なんだ。あ
She'd only meant to scare him off.
あー、出てきた。殺しちゃった。やべ、なんか、怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い。何今。出た。このパトロールの音が
Her
こ
story
れ、
is that she'd waited
あれな
for
の
him to come back.
クリアの合図違う。
She put on my wig, some of my clothes,
イブが殺したんだ。
pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed.
あ、違う違う違う違う違う。イブが語ってるから花を殺したんだ。
He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her
タイム
earlier.
を殺しちゃったんだ。
That unique present. She went crazy,
彼女が言っ
smashed
て
the
るからやっ
mirror.
ぱイブが
They
花について
argued
語
and
ってる。
screamed. He hit her.
イブはあれか、
So
二人
she
目の人
grabbed
格な
a
の
piece
か
of the
な。
mirror and just
花
swung
は
it
多分
round.
イブが見て行ってることを見れてなくて、イブは花が見てるやってることを見れてるから主人格はうわ怖い怖い怖い怖いびっくりした顔が出てきて超ビビったわあ出てきてる
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's Palindrome.
青服が花な
It
の
reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
なんか音楽が変わったブラッドストリート何
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's Palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work if you mirror it though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea. Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
ブラッドスト27日もう犯人は分かったね
Didn't real. His throat.
あ、
It looked like his throat had been cut.
振り裂かれたようだった。
And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses.
メガネ。
He doesn't always wear.
メガネ。
The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere
ど
safe.
っちがどっちだったか分かんなくなってきた。
Upstairs,
これ
I
何？
think.
お互いがどっちかの
Haven't
ふ
looked
り
at
して
it
る
since.
映像もあるぞ、これ。分かんなくなってきた。
The mirror. I can't remember.
これワンチャンイーブがオフィス行ってる説も出てく
I
るな。
put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. I haven't looked at it since.
15歳で出てくるやつあるないか。出てくる。31ガラスジャック。
On his throat. How?
ガラシャツは花か。
Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon.
3日。これイブか。
He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood.
行方不明だって思ってるやつが花だった。ん？
He was dead.
怖い怖い怖い。顔が見えてる。
Let me see.
6月27日。
Yes. I drove in here because I remember well, I went over the river. And then there was a church. There. Yeah. And I probably parked. Well, I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. There it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this
こ
one.
れは事故起こった時のこと言ってたんだ。いけねえか。うらっと、もう1個しか言ってないね。メガネ。うい。うわ、いっぱい出てくる。こっちから行くか。
This was 9, about 9.
僕は7月3日にウ
I
ィッ
went
グについて
round
語っ
and
てた
she
から。
was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry. The kind of anger you can only have towards yourself.
これ、
We
イブがハノ
screamed
の
at
ふり
each
した時の
other,
こと語ってるんだよね。
argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off.
お互い
Eventually,
自身な
we
の
grew tired of fighting and I left.
多重人格じゃない。
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked
ロ
at
ン
the
ドのウ
cat
ィッグ
flap?
はヘレンのふりした時のやつか。
No, I've never worn a wig.
これは
What
ハ
kind
ナ
of
か。
wig?
じゃあ、ウィッグつけてるのはイブか。ハナはつけてない。本当に？
You mean? But what type of wig?
どういうタイプのいっぱいつけてるの？両親が気になる。ああ、いっぱい出てくるな。25
I got
日。
pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married.
二人を結婚させそうになった。
We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us
これは反応だね、やっぱり。
and the baby if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. No, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until
おろしたよ、流産しちゃったんだ。
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents.
なるほどね。その妊娠について見ますか。
Yes, I'm fine. I won't speak
27
again.
日。
This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
?エッグベネディクトは関係ないよね。検索したよね。あ、見てないのあるな。
Yes, that's my birthday. Not one of the big ones, but I guess you can see that.
マジ。このパソコンゴミって。上着が全く見れてない。
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because
ああ、
she
犬が
thought she saw
語
her
ってんだ。
husband with another woman.
6月27
But
日。
it's okay because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother.
え
And so it's fine.
あ、どういうこと弟サイモンの
An
弟だと
affair. Simon wasn't having an affair. No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon.
ベンチンチンと浮気してる。
Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday.
顔が怖い。
Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale.
よくおとぎ話と例えるね、
We can.
この人。出てくるわ、おとぎ話。
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just
オリーブだ
reminded me
ね。
of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children.
あー
Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books.
確信に迫ってきたと思ったけど、全然クリアが見えてこねえぞ。
Well, she wasn't
どの
very
単語を
real,
検索し終わったら
but
ク
she
リアなんだ
raised
これ。
me.
なんか多分特定のムービーを見たら終わりなんだろうな。
It's a real life fairy tale. Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
いや、ラプンツェルの例えめっちゃしてんだ。
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
ヒントと、なんか実績解除したぞ。
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again? We were obsessed with fairy tales.
うん、この二人好きだ
Not
ね、
just
お
the
話。
pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper
この人
and
も
dressing the
超うまいよ
pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut.
そうですよ。もうこれ逮捕されてるの思いますよ、これさすがに。
Princess her finger.
事件の記録を見てる感じですからね。さっきなんかパトカーの音が聞こえたから逮捕されたんじゃねえかな。弟。あ、弟、これだけなんだ。兵器。ここだけ。じゃあちょっと話を戻してエレノアクリップ見ていくか。
I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're
この二
very
人誰なんだ
worried.
ろうね。
I feel sorry for them. I hoover, I dust every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay.
この子はま
I
だ
think
余
she
裕が
was
ある
just
か
trying
な
to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of
ネックレ
porcelain
スしてない。
vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked
こ
at
い
the
つら
vase.
多重人格なのにどうやって入れ墨つけたり消えたりしてんだろう。
I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
双子じゃないよね。笑ってたもんな、双子について。
1984 was an awful year in the
で、
end.
重要なので、1984。
We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring, and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just
子供がよくやるやつな。
the Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of
え
police.
亡くなってる。
A forensic entomologist.
法医昆虫学者。
It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
亡くなってる。
Yes.
両親なのか
I
な。
at least once a day.
え、どういうこと？
Not that there's anything much to say.
妄想？
This woman's just
うわ、びっくりした。こぼしてる。コーヒーこぼした。なんか実績返し。え？ラブ、死んじゃってるよ。
I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
両親殺しちゃってる？いや、これ検索しちゃうね、一回。メモ帳にメモってるわ。これだけか。あう。ね。
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing,
これは青い
leather, real leather.
6月18日。
He packs it full of stuff, business cards.
これ、花がいる
receipts,
語ってる
lottery
パターンがある。ちょっとよくわかん
tickets.
ない
He
け
has
ど
it in his
な。
back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. You know. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on
もう
him.
長袖だしな。
He always takes it out of his back pocket before when he comes in, if he's in the house.
まあ、情報としてはあんまり落ちてこない内容だったか。次、コート。コート着て出てったっていう話があったからな。
Okay.
これはいつだ？白シャツ。7月1日か。
I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road.
白シャツ。
I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door.
白い
The
ブラウス
main
着てる
lock was
人か。
unlocked.
コーヒーい
I
らない
could
人。
tell because the
あ、
key
砂糖い
wouldn't
らない
turn
人
when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper.
あれでも似たような話聞いたな、
He
こ
wasn't
れ。
there. I touched the kettle.
誰
It
が言
was
ったんだっ
cold.
けな。
I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search
あ
for
れ、
him.
全く同じような内容聞いたぞ、これ。
Okay.
ほら、同じような内容聞いてる。しかもこれガラシャツの日だよね。6月30。
I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there.
あ、これは花なんだ。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
え？
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so
Yeah.
stuff like that just comes and goes.
気になるよね、あざ。あ、ガラシャツの人の時、あざがに行
I
った
don't
の
know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen.
もう一人の刑事さ
I
ん。
found the body.
刑事さん。
I
あー、27日の赤シャツ。赤服。うん。 そうね、
Bruise?
ここ目立ってるよね。
Oh, yeah, no, it's
なんか
nothing.
25
I
日。
was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. We hurt like hell.
青い、水色みたいな。赤い服の時偽ってんのかな、これ。
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull our harness to match.
え
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. And she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. She snuck a frozen piece up
これは
from
ミスリードさせようとしてるパターン。
So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. Started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
まあ、体同じだから。54秒もあった。
Childhood.
違う。これじゃ
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing.
この整理書くつもりなかったけど出てきちゃった。
Well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl, it helps make sense of my day. And when you're
こんだ
forced
け
to put
ムー
something
ビーある
into
んだよ、これ。
words,
検索してもなんか出てくるんだけど。
everyone's on the same page. Yeah, when I was at school, I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything though. I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
うん。花打ち切っつってるもんね。こっちじゃないんだよ。こっち検索したかったんだよ。
Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen.
何
I
なん
said
か
with
別
so
人
many
なの
boys. No. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was
あ
pretty,
あ、彼女が出てくる
but
タイ
how
ミ
we
ングで
stayed
は
the same now.
この人は出てこれないから。
Felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become
花の
different.
異なる別々の存在になった。異なる存在。やばい。異なる存在。もう時々音
I
楽
think
が
it
変わ
was
るの
that
が。
time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic spell. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice.
白シャツでもこれ花じゃなくね
I missed 3
?4 月
periods.
3日でしょ
I had pretty irregular periods
Leave it
anyway,
up, leave it
but
up.
3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both.
子供ができたって伝え
I
たん
think
だ。
she was.
うわ、顔が。これ怖いわ、マジで。あ、これしか出てこないね。魔法の聖地。待って、異なる存在って入れたらクレスしちゃいそう。出てこない。そんなことなく。ケイジ。あ、もう一個出てきた。27
No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one.
また。 もう一人の刑事って誰だ？
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective.
ダメだ。あれ、あだについては出したよね。ゴミ袋。用品。はい。
The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You could probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but
赤シャツでしょ？赤い服でしょ？イブだよ。
Well, fine.
例えると。
Considering. I got back into the house today, and that was weird, knowing your people have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet.
鳩入れてガッチャガチャなってるよ。
As good as new, he said.
清掃業者が。
But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So, it happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck.
ああ、こいつら協力してる。もう一回見る、もう一回見る。
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered.
赤ちゃん。
We'd help each other. We cleaned up.
もう一回生まれてんだもん。
We bagged up the broken mirror, her
妊娠
clothes.
しちゃってんだもんね。
They're gone.
あんまりたくない。
We took him down to the cellar.
ああ、二人で
We
やってんだ。
we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it. 時計のアイディアってなんだろう。いわく。アリバイについて語ってるのもこれ。これしかないな。 It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered.
二人が犯人なのは分かったけど、どうすればいいんだ？
There's married couple stuff. A stupid argument, nothing specific. No one knows how to push your buttons better than those you're close to. No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. Yes. He left after the argument. It was about 8 o'clock.
時計ってのはそういうことか。この辺の時間帯のこと言ってんのかな？
I think when I drove back, it was about 8 or something.
あ、これがアリバイで言ってるんだ。
And I got back to the house
出
about
発した時間帯と。
3.
全然関係ねえけど。砂糖について語ってるやつがある。
A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
ガバガバ入れてるやつ。
Just the 1 sugar. Thanks. Is that camera recording?
むっちゃ砂糖ガチャガチャになってる。
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
見てるね。なんだろうな。何についても語ってるよな。なんだろう、あと。検索できるやつしたぞ、大体。アンチグレアって何？ああ、綺麗になった。綺麗になった。インスタントファイルにアクセスってなんだろう。え、待てよ。今気づいた。裏になんかある。2021年6月16日。これなんだ？あ、これあれか。このデータベースでいくつ検索して見つけられたかっていうやつってこと？ああ、なるほど。リードミー。こんなのあったんだ。気づかなかった。あれ？なんかこれで、さっき見つけたやつを法廷に提出しなきゃいけないってこと？ああ、なるほどね。これ先に知りたかった。ダブルクオートでくぐると完全一致するやつだけになるとかってことか。待って ゴミ箱の中入ってんだけど、なんか。誰かの AA が入ってる。ミラータイル。あ、そういうこと一人で遊ぶやつか、これ。あ、セッション終了できんだ。同じだね。そういうことか。例えば赤ちゃんとかで検索すると大量に出てきたよね。なると1個になる。あー、なるほど、なるほど。マジか。
His body did not real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut.
メガネ検索したっけ？出てきたな。これしかないんだった。わかんねえな。何がどこで出てくる？いっぱい出てくる。
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that. For fuck's sake. Can I leave?
めっちゃ切れてる。
Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
めっちゃ切れてる。
Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. Open this door.
3日目。
This is a nice of them. This is where you take people when it's time to arrest them. Yes. No lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for?
Ah, 温度計はあんま関係ないか。なんだろうね。なんだろうな。
This is the third day running you've called me in. I speak to Doug and Eleanor every day. And they say you've been asking a lot of questions. About me. Should I be worried? Am I a suspect? Okay. So you want to eliminate me as a suspect? That should eliminate me as a suspect. If I was in Glasgow, can't be in two places at once. Differences? She's a better driver than me.
俺だっけ屋根裏でなんか革新的な内容を聞いたんだっけ。
Nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one.
ラプンツェルとかだ。
She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a
似たような会話
night
して
that
る
his
ね。
band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
待てよ。番号書いてないこれ。
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so
番号書いてあるクリップが。これだ。待てよ。
differences.
動いてないか。25。なんだろうな。あとは気になる単語、ちょっと待って、メモから探すか。来るか。
When you've been married for 10 years, stuff accumulates. We could argue about anything. And he's so nice. That doesn't help. He tries to smooth things over, and that just makes it worse. We're both passive aggressive, so we never normally argue directly about anything. Good.
あまり関係なさそうだな。
I mean, ups and downs like any couple, I guess, but we've been married for over 10 years. So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of
結
marriage.
婚して生活してたんだ。なんかあの二人のイブとハナの会話からそんなに。10個ね。これで夫婦とか。いくらだ。何件出てきたっけ。あるいは特定できるやつがあればな。あ、そうだ。流産してた。あ、出てきてる出てきてる。1回目子供殺してる、殺してんじゃねえよ。流産しちゃってるから。
The neighbour called me. I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like Fuck. Yeah. I mean, I was infertile.
でも子供もう一
Thought
人
I
も
was. They told me I was
お腹に身ごも
infertile
って
after
るよ。
miscarriage because of complications. Hannah had a miscarriage.
うん。
This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had
ちょっと笑うのが
corrected its
怖く
course.
なるわこいつ。
We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then
ユーザーについてはこの程度か。もうなんか言ってたかな。これか写真。してない単語。あ、一個あるね。
Simon is 6 foot, darkish blonde hair, average build. He's clean shaven. If his beard grows, it goes ginger, so he shaves it. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with ginger hair. And bought a photo. They said a spring photo. This was taken last year on holiday in Rome. It's the best one I have.
おう。言うか。ないか。あんま関係ないのか。ガラス工場。あ、違う違う。
That's all that matters, really. The baby. Simon's dead, but the baby,
そう、鏡の破片で殺害してますね。
our baby.
花が殺してる。二人で協力してやってるのは間違い、怖い。間違いないですね。
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace
グレース・
Kelly?
ケリーって誰？
She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him.
やべ。
That's what we thought then. That people who
よくこんな女
died
の子やったな、
tragically
サイモン。
leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
夢は同期されてないんだね。ジンとかかな。あ、ちょっと。
And what did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in
で
Glasgow
もこれは時間
worrying
のア
about
リ
whether
バイ
my
作ったっ
baby
て
was
言
still
ってたもん
growing
ね。
inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
多分イブのこと言われて怒ったんじゃない花。ガラスじゃねえ鏡もう一回渡され
I
て。
didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
安定助手っていうやつをゲットしたな。関係ないけどちょっと紅茶調べてみるか。あ、コーヒー飲んでたのに紅茶飲んでるやつがいたよ。
Could I have a cup of tea? Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
は サイモンなんちゃらでもうちょっと検索するか。浮気。さっき浮気めっちゃあったもんね。あ、出てきた。
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why.
こ
No,
うした理由が
I've
愛
never
憎のも
cheated
つれ
on
だ
you.
からよ。
I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs?
もうセックスでも検索してみるか、一回。
You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing? It lasted about
こんなん
6
で出てくるん
months.
かい。
I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
殺で検索したから出てこないよな。はい、出てくる。
Suicide?
自殺の方が出てきたか。
I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. Yes. We'd fight.
喧嘩。ひらがなの喧嘩が出てきたな。
We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach and I held her
なんで
head
二人で
under
バチバチにやってる時の顔が笑顔なんだよ。
and for a moment I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown.
どういうことなんだろうね、これ。
But that was it. It
存
was just
在
a
しない
moment.
と思わせておいて、実は二人いるパターン。
We made up after. It was a love-hate relationship.
愛憎。でも二人で最終的に協力しちゃってるからな。愛憎。憎が違う。愛憎。うん。アリバイってでも検索したよな。1個しか出てこなかったはず。こいつが語ってるこの意味深なやつ
It
ね。
happened very
僕ちょっと
quickly.
これを見るか。
We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed
暗
almost.
黙のうちに了承し。
The baby was what mattered.
赤ちゃん。
We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, that was my touch, to make sure the alibi stuck. でもなんか弁護士呼べ弁護士呼べってずっと言ってたな。 Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer.
弁護士についてなんか語ってるのはないんだ。より確かに埋まってる気はするけど。どうなんだろうな。花。イブ。出てこない。ウィッグだけ単体。これだと7個なんだよな。
She was sat behind him.
彼女か。
She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day.
自分語りしてるときに存在しない
She had blood on her.
感じかな。
And she was in shock.
変わんないか。ちょっと屋根裏の話に戻るか。11個出てきてんだよね。
I was playing it.
え、
In the
関係ない
bedroom.
話だ。
That can't be right. In the bedroom.
何、ベッドルームがそんなに何かあんのか。
I sleep on the right side of the bed as you come in from the door. You can tell because I have 2 pillows and he just has 1.
屋根裏に戻ろう。物語、日記。パスポート。日記。なんか自白書いてある。
Across the road, where my
時計
parents
も
first lived
出ま
there,
したね。
was a midwife
時
called
計は
Florence.
結構候補出てきたから時計の後ろに
When
なんかつけなきゃい
Hannah
けない
was
から。
born, I was born at the same time.
同時
The
に生ま
midwife
れ
was
た。
there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't.
嘘。
She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper. Florence was a warm,
あ、
kind
ここに
person,
と新しい登場人物が来た。これ助産婦の話、助産婦の話。
I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older.
大
She
きい。
had loved children, planned to have a large family. But her husband died in
戦
the war.
争。
And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow,
未亡人。
one of the dead.
戦で検索してみるか。
I don't know, maybe there was more to it than
何やろ
that. I don't really know. When I was 8, Mother
8
died.
歳。
She
8
slipped
歳
down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the
Oh,
diary
tonight.
that day and I left.
嘘。
Walked out and across the street.
これ出てくるとマジ焦るんだけど。俺イブって書いてたけど、イブってこっちだ。だから出てこなかったんだ。何？撃てる。うお、すごい。なんか会話してる。怖っ。すごい。誰かと交信してる。
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more
イブの字が
popular
違った。
than boys. I used to hate her for it. I mean,
今メモ見てて気づいたわ。
sometimes.
もう一回ちょっとイブで関連する言葉調べよう。先にそっちだな。イブ、ウィップとか。あ、そう、フローレンスもあったな。フローレンス。
What are you doing talking about Eve?
知る。早っ。
My mother called me Eve.
おかんと間違えられてんじゃん。違う、レイじゃない。し。いく。わち。ローレンス。あ、結構出てくる。
Florence took me home with her.
フローレンスと何かだな。
Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up,
よく。
take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight. It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby,
さん。
carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road.
あ、そっか、8歳と
I
か
thought
も
it
あっ
was
た
like a
な。
reflection in the mirror. She was me.
金曜日に い
It
なく
was
なっ
just
て、
me and her.
土曜日に捜
It
索
was the
願い
name
っ
they
て
were
なっ
going
て
to call their first child. They
ごめん、
talked
金曜
about
とか土曜日も
it.
検索した方がいいのか
I'm
な。
going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl.
あ、魔女。
It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember.
魔女。
I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
誰だこれ映るやつ。生まれた子供じゃねえかこれ実は。自分の母親のこと見てたりする。
I always pull it shut and then lock the bigger lock with the key.
なんでこのことを操作してるのかって気になるよな。そもそもこんな昔の話。今更じゃんっていうのがある。
No, I don't think it was. I
水
turned the key, but it was already
水検索
unlocked.
してない。水。鍵。
No, they were shut. Most of the windows are really hard to open anyway. It's stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
猫。猫用だって。猫の話今初めて聞いた。猫。6個。鍵の他に何かがあるんだ。猫とかで検索した方がいいか。あね。出てくる。
No, no cat.
ドミノ。
My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it. When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by typing out a code that we'd left in the book, the knock code. Something prisoners of war would use. We tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor.
Morse 進行だ。安心、調査。
Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
ああ、猫飼った理由がそれになったんだ。
We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
結構埋まった気がするけどな何が足りてない。なんだっけ。モールス。信号。秘密。いっぱい出てきた。
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon.
Oxford.
No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
See. Oxford. あ、2個出てくる。
There was a conference, something to do with double glazing. In Oxford?
なんか関係ねえ。なんか動画を探すたびに出てるわ。
Are you sure?
真相に迫りたいん
What
だけ
would
ど
you be doing in Oxford if there was no conference? I remember calling him. He said it was boring and he spent most of the time at the bar.
電話。あ、出てきた。
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle. Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
14秒、2時間。
I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
いけないけど、戻って水の話が出てきた。
No.
ギター
No
もあ
one
る。
has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone summoned you from the rock. You want me to play something?
あ、これで弾いたんだね。あの歌歌って。
I'm not the world's greatest.
マジですか？それやってみますか？
Okay. Probably needs tuning.
歌うのか。そっか、ダブルコートとかあったね。これだけでも他にないか。動機、そもそも動機だったら動機単体で。これじゃない感じ。ないもんね。時計もあったね。時計に出ても3つしか出ないから、複数検索も必要ない感じなんだよな。あ、そっか。水は終わった。助産婦、ドミノ。ドミノは猫だから。ないか、どう。やばいやばい。なんか変なのがついてる。あ、助産婦なし。以上。戦争。戦。8歳。8歳もないか。なんだろうな。喉とかでも切り裂いてたよね。喉。これ複数出てきた。4つしか出ないから関係ねえか。アリバイもない。あ、そっか。これがたくさん出てくるから、あれ見てないのがある。
Yes.
嘘発見器。
My name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit.
嘘発見器がある。
Sorry.
い
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready.
いや、思ったより難しいわ。もうクリアできてるものだと思ってた。今頃。嘘。ちょっと嘘検索しなかったな。いっぱい出てきた。
Yes, I'll take a lie detector test. I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
よいしょ。
My name. That was the only question I failed.
ああ。間違えたんじゃない。偽って
The
るん
lie
だ。
detector works.
とりあえずないもんな。イエス、ノーとかで。嘘発見器でしょ。はい。 いっぱい出てきた。
Yes.
イエスだけが出てきた。この質問が知りたい。質問がダメ。はいだけしかないんだけど。
Yes.
はい。これ No がよって出てきた。
No.
これじゃわかんねえ。あ、待て、これ時間とかでわかるか。
No.
待って、
No.
モーシュみたいなのないかな。時間帯とか。
No.
時間帯とかでわかんない。なんかもっと長いやつとかの質問するのか。
I've never taken a lie detector test before. Does it really work?
質問の内容が出てないからわかんねえよ。イエス、ノーが。
Yes. I'll take a lie detector test.
間違ったのはでも
My name.
名前だけだから。これ偽ってたやつな。結構埋まったと思うんだけどな。何がわかんないんだ。ルール。取り決めたルールがあるって言ってたもんね。二人で取り決めたルールがある。
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad.
本当ですね、これ。
She broke the
よくこの
rules.
検索のやつに当てはめまして。
Or maybe they think she did something bad.
ちなみに、これ、
It wasn't her
続編というか、
She looks
後継
scared.
作品があります
Not
ね。
guilty.
同じ会社が作った同じようなゲームが。
Maybe it was mistaken
ちなみに
identity.
3作目が2月に出る予定らしいです。
Did they catch her there?
今セットでね、これともう一つのやつが合わせて1000円で売ってて、ちょうどいいやと思って2個買ったんですよ。
Just became our way of life. We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. And we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation.
これがルールで、
It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules.
サイモンの奪い合いが
Rules
起
for
きたん
things
だ。
that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
これが確信じゃないんだ。
No. I mean, he was. Everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone.
違った。聞きたかったことじゃない。
He
どっ
loves me.
ちを愛してたかを知りたかった。でも、どこだからちょうどいいのか。
No.
イブ愛、
Everyone loved
花愛で
Simon.
検索してみるか、どっちを愛さ
He's
れ
a
てたか
glazier.
知
He
りた
doesn't
い
have
な。
much money. I don't know.
もしくは、二人がどう思ってたかだな。どっちが愛されてると。それ聞いてみよう。
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him?
はい、次。こういえば、なんで行方不明って言ったんだろうな。
I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple. I know it was stupid not to tell you everything. Saying I spent the night in Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important.
これ一人二役を演じてたんだね。で、警察騙されたっていう感じか。
My sister is gone.
え？彼女が消え
She's
た？
never coming back.
戻ってこない。どっちが消えたんだ？
My sister is gone.
どっちが消えたんだ？
And she's never coming back.
違う。
My sister is gone.
指輪してない。
And she's never coming back.
これイブだ。指輪ってどっちだっけ？指輪してない。
No, he wasn't wearing his wedding ring.
なんでイブのこと聞く？指輪してる。これ花だ。
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith.
これが嘘ついたやつか。
Shit. Sorry.
チャットヒアがクソ邪魔なんだが。あ、辛すぎる。半分ぐらい3分の1くらい残ってんのかな。どうすればいいんだ。花の赤ちゃん。20の赤ちゃん。赤ちゃんだけだと多すぎるんだよな。うん。イブと花ダメ。他に何がある？彼女 C。
Then she told me she wanted to help more. She said I should move in with her. She would come clean with Simon about me. I was family. I couldn't have a baby in a bedsit. I told her I didn't want to tell Simon. Told her to wait for the time being.
イブは待つように言ったと。でも、花は待てなかった。
When she went home, Simon had a birthday tea waiting. Afterwards, she told Simon about me, told him I was pregnant. She wanted me to move in with them, this sister he didn't know she had.
王女。 手当たり次第言ってけど。なんだろうね、鏡にプラスでくっつくやつ。どっちが消えたんだろうな。
My sister is gone.
ゴーン、消えた。
She's never coming back.
戻ってこない。同じだよね。それっぽい単語。消えた。消失。
After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
出てる。
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic.
Romantic だった。解除した。
Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be. Sharing, like we had before. He never mentioned her to me. There was the Simon with me, and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
罪悪感。そういう。間違えた。缶が効いちゃった。出てこなかったからいいや。共有だといっぱい出てくんだ。あ、でも5件ちょうどぴったりだね。これもう犯人特定してるからクリア扱いなのかななんかクリアみたいなのが出るわけじゃないのかもしれないな、これもしかしたら。 と何が残ってんだ？あとはもしかして大体情報見つけたからマジであれ入力できない。入力できねえわ。いや、それの可能性あるかなとか思ったんだよな。もうキリが良くなったらキリ良くなったって言えばいいのかっていう。入力できるよね。マジで O で検索してしまった。わけねえか。わけねえか。まさかと思ったけど。いや、無理は、なんだ、あと。あの顔っぽいやつですよね。俺が来たのも気になるんだよな。まだって言っちゃったからまだだったのか。まだは入力できるんだ。まだは入力できます。はい。はいも入力できる。やっぱりお母さんだったんだ。適当に言ったのが立ってた。ダメか。違うんだ。違うんか。なんだ、何がこれに入るんだ。気になる。何これ何これ。 ダメとかじゃないんだな。なんだろう。あとは上司に報告するだけでしょ。ああ、そういうことか。あんなことって殺したことで、殺したことは、なんだ、ここにちゃんと入力しなきゃいけないぞ。それっぽいことじゃダメだ。ちゃんと入れなきゃダメなんだ。理由はなんだ。それっぽいこと。ああ。なんだろうね。なメモからはいいえとかはいとかで、あ、はいで入力できた。うわイエスノーの答えですかこれ。もしかしてログアウトしてくれって言われた。これログアウトするとエンディングになるの？本当にゲーム終了しちゃわない？大丈夫これ？いっちゃうよ。あ、エンディングになった。あー、理由はもう自分の中で解釈してくれで終わりなのかこれ。それはわかんねえわ。多分結構早い段階でチャット来てたぞこれ。小1時間以上か2時間近く頭抱えてデータベースにらめっこしながら検索してたわ。なんとなくなんか娘なんだろうなってのは検索してる動機から想像はついてたけど、いや面白かったなこのゲーム。でもまだ全然埋まってないって単語があるんだよね。こんなん全部見つけるの無理だろ。いやー面白かったこのゲーム。よかった。次のやつはもっと難しそうなんだよね。登場人物いっぱいいたから。 8人ぐらいいて、その中から犯人探せってやつだったからね。難しそう。なんかこの人の演技超うまかったね。最初一人だと思ってたし、で次じゃ2人いるのかと思ったら二重人格だって分かってお互い演じてる動画もあったり難しかった。そうおもろかったなこれ。ちなみにどれぐらい埋まってたんだろう。もう一回それだけ見て。あ、ちゃんと途中からになってるね。最終的にはそれなりに埋まったのか。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13、14、15、16、17、18、19、20。70近くか。273個のうち70近く埋めれてないね。思ったよりあったわ。緑色が明るく見えるから結構埋めてたつもりだったけど。いやー面白かった。さすがにこれ全部埋める気にはなれんけどまあ子供のために2人でアリバイ作って隠蔽したんですね。ただ殺害してしまった動機は2人のことを間違えられたせいで思わずっていう、多分過去お母ちゃんから勘違いされたりとか、多重人格を多分自分の中で処理しきれなくてなことに至ってしまったと。面白かったです。はい、それだね。もういや結構時間やったな。本当はね、2、3時間でクリアできるって書いてあったから、もっと早い段階で終わる予定だったんですけどね。いやー、ちょっと時間かかってしまいました。またですね、もう一個。これの次のやつがあるんでね、ちょっとまた後でやってみようと思ってます。またですね、よろしくお願いします。ありがとうございました。